As businesses have evolved their business strategies from a growth agenda, operations, technology, risk management, and regulatory compliance functions all have been transforming and redesigning their operating models, really to stay in lockstep with the business, but to be doing it in a more effective, efficient manner, to be doing it in a more cost-effective manner. And quite frankly, while reducing costs and creating scale, they're trying to do it in a far more controlled manner too, so enhancing the control environment from both traditional risk and regulatory alike. As firms are also looking at operating models, firms that may outsource accounting, fund administration type services today are really reassessing their oversight models. So how many folks do they have doing what? And the real question people are to ask themselves is, what is the gross risk and what is my risk appetite and how do I want to manage that down to residual risk? Because some firms have really overbuilt oversight, some firms may not be doing enough. Both have consequences, and both also have impact on your ability to scale and be nimble in terms of moving in the marketplace. As firms have evolved their target operating model, we're seeing different organizations then start to go down the roadmap, go down the path of implementation in different ways. Some organizations are starting from a technology and operations perspective, others are focused on data, and others are taking discrete business operations or functions, and we're seeing, because of all the regulatory pressures and demands, we're seeing, for example, regulatory compliance folks or regulatory compliance functions in their operations that they support being transformed to really be more effectively manage the regulatory risk. From a risk perspective, and we talk about it from an oversight, but more broadly, you've got you're focusing on risk management more broadly, whether it's investment risk, operations risk, technology, etc. You've got a whole new set of regulatory requirements that have come down depending on the type of products that you have, where you may have regulators across the globe asking for similar information but not the same, in similar formats but not the same. The amount of risk that's been is coming about operationally by all of the different reporting requirements that are needed, all of the different compliance requirements, and all of the risk management requirements really puts a lot of strain on individuals that need to do the work. Right? So there's a concern that if you get one person doing a process or doing something, and I may have 3 or 4 different constituents between risk management, audit, compliance, and others checking over one person. Right? So there is a imperative to be able to streamline that view and come up with a single view of risk, so you understand the risks, you manage the risks, all of them, but you do it in a much more effective and efficient manner. In terms of, more broadly in terms of risk management, we're seeing a much tighter coupling between the risk functions and the regulatory compliance functions and how they work together to help manage the broader array of risks within the investment management sector. The bigger trend in many ways is organizations that are really looking to figure out how to use data to solve a particular problem. The next biggest area that is being transformed with data and analytics is really around sales and distribution. So firms are really looking at what type of information they have inside their own organization, what type of information they can buy, third-party information to use, and then in many instances firms are starting to look and figure out what kind of information they can obtain unstructured off the internet to really understand the behaviors of either end investors or investment advisors so that they could do a much better job of targeting and distributing and selling their products.